Harris was raised in a household where he saw his dad struggle with his weight for years. Unfortunately, Harris developed much of the same conditions that his father had because of the poor physical and eating habits he had. He developed sleep apnea, high blood pressure, and even type 2 diabetes. His weight took a toll on all aspects of his life and those around him. He couldn't sit in certain restaurants without being specially accommodated. He even had a sad story of not being able to walk through the airport fully with his daughter by falling short of breath. And lastly, when he was over 400 pounds at one point, he couldn't even tie his own shoes. This is from obesityaction.org. What does it really mean to be obese? So, obesity defined is a weight that is higher than what is considered as a healthy weight or is given as overweight or obesity. Body mass index or BMI is used as a screening tool for your overweight person or obesity. If your BMI is 30% or higher, it falls in the obesity range. At an individual level, BMI can be used as a screening tool, but it's not diagnostic of the body fatness or the health of an individual. For example, you can technically be a certain height, but if your bone structure is heavier, you can technically be obese. And I have some examples with that with celebrities like Tom Cruise and Serena Williams, who is a professional athlete but is still considered obese, and Beyonce. But I think we all know what I mean and what we think of when we hear the word obese. This is from the CDC. How many Americans are actually obese? All states have obesity rates over 20%. In America, 36.5% of adults are overweight. You bring children into the mix of this, and it makes it 40% of all Americans. This concludes the statistic of 1/3 of adults are obese in the U.S. 1 in 6 children are affected by obesity in the U.S. as well. 3 million are diagnosed yearly, adding to this poor statistic. This is from the Healthline. This has to change. Obesity is a very common issue in America that can be reduced or prevented just by taking simple everyday measures. Obesity is proven to have negative effects on your physical health. For example, I'll talk about type 2 diabetes and the people that are obese and affected by this. Obesity is also proven to negatively affect your mental health with depression, and obesity is costly to our economy. Obesity can last a lifetime or even a few years if not treated properly. So, my first reason for change is the physical health problems related to obesity. Many diagnosed with obesity are also diagnosed with type 2 diabetes if it gets out of hand. You may know of somebody that has to take extra health measures because they have this condition. If you don't know what it is, it's an impairment in the way the body regulates and uses sugar as fuel. You have a higher risk of this, but you also have a higher risk of heart disease, stroke, gallbladder disease, sleep apnea, breathing problems, and osteoarthritis. This is where your joints are literally tired of how much weight they're put on a daily basis. People who have obesity are also more likely to suffer from certain cancers. A lower quality of life expectancy comes with obesity as well. The saddest part of this all is that the #1 death cause in America is obesity. We have 2.8 million deaths per year from obesity alone. This is all according to the Mayo Clinic. People may argue that obesity runs in the family, but I have to argue that this isn't true. And BMI is proven to not be genetic. Bone structure and height can be genetic, but the way your parents or guardians eat and exercise is heavily reflective on yourself. This is an ad that I saw one time, and my mind went right to this, and it says, they learn from watching you eat fruits and veggies, and your kids will too. Another negative effect of obesity is the mental health effects that it has on your body. You can develop depression, anxiety, and a lower self-esteem from judgment of those around you. For example, things like social anxiety can spring up from this, and bipolar disorder from just being in pain and embarrassed all of the time. And it's a full cycle if people choose to overeat to find their comfort and escaping from mental health issues like these. And all in all, it can relate back to my depression example because you're trying to avoid happy situations because you feel in pain or embarrassed. A huge movement in the USA is also body positivity. So this is being comfortable in your skin no matter what, and that all sizes are beautiful. I do agree, but can you think of the last time that you worked out consistently and you had better sleep at night, or you felt more confident when you looked in the mirror and you could see the effects of the hard work that you've been putting on to have beneficial health. Body positivity, all in all, does not reduce your chances of blood clots or mental and physical health setbacks that I have just listed. I have an ad here for the body positivity, and then somebody like Jillian Michaels, who promotes being healthy in your body and is empowering women in that way. My last reason for change is that obesity is costly, and obesity takes a huge toll on the economy, more than what is realized. 147 billion to 210 billion are spent generally alone from treating obesity. So people that are obese also have a lower productivity at work because they have appointments or things to get to, or their physical boundaries are less than what the average person is. And people who are obese tend to eat more, and obviously more food equals more money spent. A huge argument, though, is that organic or healthier foods is actually more expensive than, going through a Wendy's drive-thru. But think of a McDonald's salad and the price compared to one of their burgers. It's obviously much more expensive, but if you went to the store and were more mindful throughout your week with a meal prep, you could see that the salad kit is a lot cheaper than a single salad alone, and it will get you more meals out of the week than that single salad. The average person also eats 4 times out of the week, and if this was cut in half to just 2 times a week, $1,000 a year per person would be saved. And that's a huge economic jump. My solution to having a healthier body and to fighting obesity is to be more mindful. So we can each eat 2 cups and fruits and veggies a day and be mindful with portion sizes. There's also a beautiful thing called the internet, which is great to look up if you have a craving sometime while trying to achieve the desired weight. You can look up something that tastes the same as a craving that you have, or maybe has lower calories and is a completely different food. Another important part to accommodating a healthy weight is to balance your plate, and this is a well-known image of how your plate should actually look. And if we take a step back and we look at this, how much of our plate is actually vegetables? Moving on to the physical things that we could be improving to achieving a healthier lifestyle is having 30 minutes of moderate physical activity a day, and there's lots of options to choose from, like walking, swimming, or biking, and drinking lots of water will help with this as well, and avoiding excess stress, and getting enough sleep at night. This is something that is very important, but is often looked over, and sometimes it can be argued as more valuable than what you are putting into your body is how much sleep that you get at night. Simple everyday habits like these can be used to fight obesity in America. Kyle Harris's story doesn't end. It has a happy ending, in fact. A previously obese friend came to Kyle and shared his testimony of when he was obese. He had a final push at a better way of living, and so did Kyle when he heard his story. Others wanted to see him live out his full quality of life, and Kyle wanted to have that. Simple, everyday habits changed his life completely. People taught him how to eat healthier, how to still live the life he was living, but just be more mindful of when he would go out to eat or when he would indulge in the food that was high calorie. He dropped 200 pounds and counting. Be influenced like Kyle. Strive to have a better, healthier body and have healthier aspects, even if it's not for your weight, even if it's for better sleep at night or better mental health. We can all help each other to be the healthiest version of ourselves in America for a happy, healthier life.